All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Full Embrace podcast. I am your host, Crystal, and I am delighted that you have joined myself and my special guest today as we continue in this endeavor of being fit, free, intentional, and true. I am especially excited about speaking with Miss Tandra because she has a story that's not so unique to a lot of people, but is unique to her and how she endeavored through all of this. And I think it's a beautiful thing to share with the rest of the world. So I hope you are all doing well, and I hope that you are present with an open heart and mind to receive all this encouragement and all the empowerment that will come through the sharing of this particular story. So, without further ado, we have on the line Miss Tanja Carr. So everybody give it up for her. Say, hey, Miss Tanja. We
Uh,
are here with her, and our paths crossed about 7 years ago, seven,
mhm,
8 years ago. It seemed like a very short, long time ago.
mhm.
And so work brought us together, the universe brought us together, the Lord, however you see it, brought us together. And we've been able to just stay in touch and be in each other's lives in some capacity. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. She's going to share a little bit about who she is and why she's come to join us on the full embrace. So if you care,
Okay.
Miss Tanja.
Um, Miss Crystal, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and I feel so humbled to be here to be able to um, express the importance of a female, an African American female, capturing full embrace, self improvement for herself. It appears that our society has uh, given us African American females a bad name.
Oh
Um,
yes,
Pretty much, we're lazy welfare moms who, want to be flashy and bougie and don't want to take care of home and all of this. And I beg to differ. We are some strong, empowered queens. No matter
there
what the
we are.
no matter what the struggle, some kind of way we find ourselves back up on our feet again. And that's my story. I find myself back up on my feet again.
Hmm.
As Crystal said, we crossed paths uh, via employment. However, before the employment, there was some struggles in my life.
Yeah.
And so I'll start with that. When I tell my story, I always say, be prepared for the naked truth with my clothes on. So
Oh, I love that.
I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but this is the way I tell my story, and this is my truth. I came from a wonderful, wonderful family that was still dysfunctional,
Mm.
right? My grandmother, I was pretty much her pride and joy. I had some grace and mercy and loving kindness in my life. That was my grandmother, my papa, and her sister Bertha. And I could possibly do no wrong in those people's eyes, but I did.
Yeah.
I did do wrong. I was just, just the person that hid it well. I was a little church girl that went to church on Sundays and church on Wednesdays and choir rehearsal on Tuesdays and
Me
sneaking around
too.
with the boys on Saturday nights at the football game.
Yep.
Then I went off to college, and then I start participating in some unhealthy behaviors. And then those behaviors landed me up. I always say I was kidnapped by crack cocaine in a
Mm.
subdivision called Fifth Ward, who is a beast all by itself.
Oh.
What I knew about prostitution and pimps and hoes was what I saw on TV. I
Mm.
didn't know that I would become a product of the whole scenario of what that looks like. I was a product of, I didn't fit in because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know nothing about tutorial taxes. Didn't know nothing about a pimp. I didn't know nothing about. any of that because that wasn't my nature. I just didn't grow up
Yeah.
that way. But surely I found myself, in an odd spot doing odd things behind addiction.
Mhm.
Uh, didn't didn't see where my addiction had become harmful to others. And when I say others, I can look back and tell you today that my addiction I only thought was harming me. My addiction harmed everyone that was affected with me, my children, my mom, my dad, my brothers and my sisters, my community, my church members, and everyone that was linked to me in some form or fashion suffered from my addiction. And so when I put full embrace and self improvement in my life today, that has to go on a daily basis still today, holistically,
Yeah.
emotionally,
Mhm.
financially,
Yes.
spiritually.
Mhm.
Um, and I still struggle today, not with the addiction piece, but the isms of alcoholism. This I, self, and me part is still dysfunctional at times. I'm
Mhm.
still
Mhm.
me. I'm just not doing substances, right?
Yeah.
And so growing up in public after addiction is very hard. My background took me to places that I didn't go and I stayed too long. One of those visits was 5 times in TDC. I had no business being in TDC, but I learned a lot from TDC. It's a place now I go by volunteerism. I go in and I come out.
Mhm. You
I
ain't
have to
gotta stay.
stay. I don't have to stay, right?
Yeah.
I had firsthand knowledge of CPS that I now work with very closely on another end. CPS was involved with all of my children because all of my children were drug induced children. And the circle, I can tell you today, still affects my children in some way, form, or fashion.
Mhm.
Um, our relationships, my relationships with my children is not the best. Some of us still do not communicate, um, and some of us do. And what I can say is some of the ones that do, it's a struggle because I'm an adult trying to raise an adult.
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
missed out on raising them as children. Now I want to be mommy, and they
They're
grown,
like, "Nah."
and they grown.
Yeah.
What I can say is I will never get the Mother of the Year award, but I do get the best improved because as long as I don't take a drink or a drug, pop a pill or smoke no crack today, that means improvement. And I can
Yeah.
still learn how to be an adult parent to an adult child.
Mhm.
Because at the
Mhm.
end of the night, they're still my children.
Right.
And
And
the ones
forever will be.
and will ever forever will be. And the ones that I don't communicate with, um, I cause that and I own that. And however, I don't let that hold me hostage.
Mhm.
Because one thing I know and two for sure, it's all in God's time. And what if tomorrow or today they decide to forgive me and want to find me and talk, and I'm sitting in the crack house wanting to leave and can't?
Yeah.
Won't happen. Not today, at least. My journey has been a hard one because I'm real stubborn. I'm real hard headed. I'm outspoken, as Crystal will tell you. I
You're
still
messed up.
I still want what I want when I want it. And I still struggle in trying to improve myself. And how I do that, I do it on a daily basis. I still
Yeah.
meditate. I still do some self-care stuff for myself because I don't know it all. We want to say, there was a song and I used to sing it all the time. Shaka Khan made it first. I think she said, she's every woman and it's all in me.
Mhm.
I beg to differ. I'm not every woman and it's not all in me. I can't do all of those miraculous things that others expect me to do. I can do what I can do, and the rest I get frustrated when I can't. My daughter was just telling me today, Mom, you get so frustrated, and
Yeah.
it's true. I still get frustrated at some of the things that other people do with impunity, like with no care, with no ease. but I can't. Uh,
Mhm.
and one of the things that I'm trying to overcome now is my criminal background, keeping me from living in a home. Something that simple that everybody do on a daily basis. You know, you go, I make the money to live in a home. No, my credit score is not the best, but it's not that bad. But when
Mhm.
it comes up, it's a background thing.
Yeah. All those years ago and still holding you in the same
2006, here it is, 2024.
almost 20 years.
And, my background is still trying to hold me down, but I won't let it.
Mhm.
I still keep faith that you say no to this house, guess what? The next one is coming, it's going to be better. So I don't let that hold me down either. Spiritually, what I found out, during this journey of recovery is that, yeah, I was going to church when I was younger, and that's all it was. I was just going to church. I'd
Mhm.
have my white hat on and my gloves and my, looked the part and was cute, was the first lady looking kind of girl, and
Yeah.
had no relationship with God.
Yeah, that's
Today, on a daily basis, I try to have a working relationship with Him,
mhm.
and that seems to have been working for me today. Physically, that's a part of self improvement. In my addiction, I did a lot of harm to my body, a lot of harm to, the simple things, my teeth, my hearing, my eyes, my health. And those things I didn't take. If it didn't hurt, I didn't bother. It didn't bother me. But
Mhm.
being trying to be holistic, you have to take a look at my health. It has diminished. I still don't like the doctors. They've given me some diagnoses that I'm not real fond of and I'm not real comfortable with. However, I have to, do as they tell me to do. Take this and go here and this doctor's appointment, take this shot, take this medications. And that's a part of uh, knowing who you are and whose you are to become. I don't want to short any of my days. I've already
Mhm.
done that enough.
Mhm.
Today, I want to live as long as I can and be of maximum service for the time I have left.
Right.
Um, is there any question you want to ask me, Crystal?
Well, Lord have mercy. I mean, first of all, like, thank you for sharing and being so transparent about that. People a lot of times people come out of addiction, but they don't go into recovery with the mindset that I have to cover again, um, and do again, and sometimes continue to be hostage to what was. And it's hard for them to really embrace the now and just be courageous enough to say, yeah, that was me. Yeah, it hurt me. Yeah, it did all of these things. I've hurt others. But I have what I have right now. And that's an opportunity to just be whatever my best self is. So I'm curious for you, when did things start to take that turn? And what was there anything particular in your life that made the dark side, if you will, so
hmm
appealing? What was it for you at that time in your life?
I can't, you know, I wish I could tell you that I remember the moment or something, butterflies or the harp starts, blowing or whatever. I cannot. I can just tell
Mm,
you that on June 16th, um, I don't know what it was. I just told the people that I was around, and we was playing dominoes and laughing and kikiing and ha, and I just made a statement. In the morning, I'm going to treatment. Now, mind you, I had already been to treatment about 4 or 5 times already.
uh-huh,
No, maybe 6 or 7 times already prior to my stay in TDC. But this particular day, I just said, I'm going to treatment. And
mm.
then I just kept playing dominoes and I kept doing my thing. And all of a sudden, it was about 2:30 in the morning. I said, I think I want to go right now.
Oh,
So
wow.
I just told one more lie to the people I was with. I said, let's go get some real good dope over here
Mhm.
in Pasadena. And so they said I said, yeah, and I got the money. We're going to get some real good stuff. I didn't have no transportation. They took me. I already knew where to go, and I had already been kicked out of the place several times. And I said, and I asked the young lady that had took me. I said, just wait here, and I'll be back out. I knew I wasn't coming back out. I don't even know how I knew I wasn't coming back out. I just knew. And I
Mhm.
went in, I knocked at the door, and they said, Miss Carr, you can't come back here. I said, you call somebody and tell them I'm coming. And I sat there
Mhm.
until they opened the door and they let me in, and I didn't come back out. And that was the start of this trip of my journey of recovery, and I've not looked back since. So
Wow.
I don't know what Matt. All I can tell you that was divine intervention in my life that day.
So something definitely woke up in
Hmm.
you. It was a
Hmm.
different part. Sound like your spirit man was talking.
Right. Because I didn't have any. I didn't have any. I mean, I wasn't down to my last. I
Mhm.
still was flowing, kind of flow. It was just that. It was just my moment.
Mhm.
Because I had
That's
already
very
had some. I had already had some moments that should have turned my life around, but I didn't heed to those moments.
you
Right.
weren't ready.
I wasn't ready. Like
Mhm.
mom saying, "Don't go." We didn't. I didn't raise you this way. Okay. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Children saying, "Mom, stop, please."
Mhm.
A husband walking out and saying, "I'm done." Those are the types of things that would appear to make you want to turn around. But that wasn't my story.
Mhm.
Those cries of stopping never touched my heart enough to stop.
Yeah.
It had to be a divine intervention that turned my life around.
So other than the physical addiction to the substances, what was it about the lifestyle or the drug or the drink that um kept you there, or what did it hide you from or take you away from that appeal?
Most people say that there was you addiction is trying to change the way you feel. You're
Mhm.
using something to try to change the way you feel, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
my story goes, I always felt like I was never good enough. And I don't know where that comes from because I had everything above and beyond what other people had. My grandmother and
Mhm.
my mom made sure that I had the nicer things, uh, in my life all the time, but I still just never felt good enough, right? And I don't
Mhm.
know where, still to this day, I still struggle with some insecurities in my life. People,
Yeah.
I get this all the time. You've come so far, you're doing so good, and I still suffer. I still work with a sponsor and a spiritual advisor on my
Mhm.
insecurities about
Mhm.
the little girl who does not believe she's enough.
That's good. My goodness. So she's still very much alive in
She's
you.
still alive today,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So
some
you
of that
had
stems from uh, missing a father figure. My dad was present, but he wasn't present. If that makes
okay.
sense. He was
Like
in our
emotionally, he wasn't
household. He
there
was
for
in our
you.
household, but he wasn't in our household. I don't believe when my dad passed, he knew my real name. He always called me Crook from from being a
Crook.
from being a little girl. That's all I could remember. I don't ever remember him calling my name. I don't ever remember, I always remember lying about his presence. My mom would always try to keep me in things that was productive, like Girl Scouts. And
Mhm.
when you're in Girl Scouts as an African American girl, but in my time, it was full Caucasian, and so I'd be
Yeah.
the only little black girl there, and everybody had their daddies, and I'd have to have my papa, you know,
Mhm.
present at daughter dances and stuff like that. And I'd lie, and I say my daddy was the FBI agent, out on special assignment.
You didn't just
Special
come up with no regular lie, you came up with top
no,
tier.
I had to tell them big, elaborate lies.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it all stems from, what we're finding out through therapy is that abandonment issue from the father figure that was not present.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Mhm.
that is so, so important, especially for a daughter. I mean, every
Mhm.
child needs their dad, every child needs their mother, but it's something about the father being present. So all of you listeners who had an absent father or even have your father being present, you know, really take into consideration the impact of his presence and not just any presence, because you said he was physically there, but not emotionally there or there for you in other ways.
All right.
And all of you fathers, if you have some children whose lives that you may not be, so involved in, take this opportunity to really understand that you are very much so needed.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is you create people or perpetuate brokenness throughout people's lives. Just like you said, Miss Sonia, she might be about 21 now, but she got she got that little girl in her who still, is working on
Mm-hmm.
being more secure with herself and just really embracing herself,
Mm-hmm.
um, and knowing her own worth and value, even though you've come so far
All right. I
already.
still question my worth in all
Mm,
situations. I question myself at work. Um, I have lots of letters behind my name,
mhm,
and I still don't think that's enough. I still strive to be more. I want to go to the job and be the CEO, you know, and
mhm.
and tell the people how to run their stuff. And
Oh,
uh,
Lord.
yeah, yes, and it's their stuff, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and I still don't think that's enough.
So
You know,
what would be enough? What do you know yet what
I don't
will
know. I
settle
don't.
that? Yeah.
What I'm learning today is peace of mind means a lot to me today. Peace of
Mhm.
mind means a lot. I can never have enough money. You give me $1 million right now, and by the end of the night, I might be broke, and that still won't be enough.
Yeah.
But if I have peace of mind and my spiritual maintenance is intact today, I'm just gonna say for today. Today, that's enough for me.
Mhm, mhm. Hmm. So it sounds like you are even embracing those things that are not well done yet
Right. Right.
and are
I'm still just a piece of the puzzle that still isn't put together yet.
hmm,
So, people that are every day around me, sometimes I'll, say, look, I'm not spiritual today. It's not good. It's not a good day. And then other days, I'm okay. And then,
yeah,
uh, but those that are around me know me well enough to be patient.
yeah. But most important, you are able to be patient with yourself or exercising some patience with yourself because you have the awareness that, yeah, I'm still working on that. The Lord ain't through with me yet. And, over here, I've made my strides. But being able to say, I recognize where, things are still a challenge, and I'm open enough and I'm secure enough in my insecurities to share that with you. Meaning I can tell you that today is not a good day instead of trying to act as if and
Mhm.
making things that much more difficult for yourself. Because,
Right.
oh, being faking is hard. Might
Girl,
might as well tell the truth, right?
you can go anywhere in the country and tell somebody to really know you. And everywhere I go, somebody knows who I am. And so
I
trying to
believe
put
it.
on a facade just won't work.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
if
it's
you
that's too
saw
much.
me in China, you would know if I was trying to act Chinese. You'd be like, Miss Carl,
Mhm.
what is going on? I know you from, X, Y, and Z. And then that's just too hard to do today. I'm just
Yeah,
me. With all
yeah,
the credentials that I have, the one credential that I always want to hold tight and make sure that I'm in tune with is being of maximum service with the potential to help others,
mhm, mhm. And speaking of
including
all your
myself. Including myself.
oh, yeah, you gotta be the first
Mhm.
person on your list. And I think generally as people who work in service roles like you and I do, it's easy to put ourselves way, 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 way in the back or not even on the list at all.
Mm.
So you being the first person that's on your list, me being the first person that's on my list, of priorities,
Mhm.
um, definitely can make uh, a greater difference for sure.
Correct.
But speaking of all your credentials, you have come full circle from being on one side of life to the other side. So talk to us a little bit about how it feels for you to be in position where now you are impacting people whose life you fully understand.
It's amazing. Every day I get to see me,
Mhm.
somebody else's life. Um, and it's amazing to be able to say only by the grace of God, there go I.
Mhm.
And you get to share. I get to share my experience, strength, and hope with them just for informational purposes, and they get to listen. And then they say, "Miss Cole, really you? You don't look like
Yeah.
you. So what am I supposed to look like? 'Cause this is what it is." And so, hope, and most of the times, my clients, the first thing I tell them, there's no difference between you and I. The only difference is I choose not to do a substance today, but the struggles are still there.
Mhm.
My way of thinking is still my way of thinking. I just work on
Yeah.
it every day. So, um, coming full circle, it's the circle still goes, the merry-go-round still goes around and around. Because
Mhm.
I still can wake up one morning with a bright idea that, maybe I can just, and then I go to work and I say, no, I'm not going to do that again. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the yets because I don't know what they feel like. I'm afraid of the again,
Mhm.
dirty again, unemployable again, no communication with society again. Um,
Mhm.
the simple things. You know,
Yeah.
every morning today, and this is gonna sound real funny and corny and kooky, but when I wake up and wash my face and brush my teeth, I just find a joy in that because my addiction had brought me to the point where I was a female with animalistic behaviors, not taking care of myself at all.
Okay.
So washing my face and brushing my teeth, taking a bath, normal simple things I had
Mhm.
lost the ability to do, and so
Mhm.
I embrace those things today.
Yeah, and you had to learn
I
to
had
do
to.
them again
I,
because of just being able to love yourself in that way.
mhm. Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
So, you said you were working to clear up some of those insecurities and reconcile other parts of your life. What are some of the things that you would share with the listeners about the things that have worked for you so far that have brought you at least to this place?
Listening to others, which I find
Listening to.
hard to do, because I always want to vindicate my part, but it's not always about my part. It's about their part as well, because I played a
Mhm.
part in hurting others, but I don't want to. Well, I don't want to acknowledge that part. I want to say,
Mm.
that happened a long
Oh,
time ago. You should be over
yeah.
that by now, but that's not the truth. The truth, you have to let
Okay.
people be where they are, and if that means letting them alone, leave them people alone, Tanja, till they're ready. This
Yeah.
is not about you play a part in people's lives, so let them people alone until they're ready to accept you back in theirs. And if
Is that
that means,
hard?
it's very hard, very very hard, because I love all of my children.
Mhm.
And I believe fundamentally my children love me, but they've been hurt by me to the
Yeah.
point that they don't want to communicate out of protection of themselves. And
Mhm.
that was a hard pill to swallow. That my
Right.
children are protecting themselves from me.
Yeah. That does have to be a big sting,
Hmm. Hmm.
mhm,
Yeah.
to for them to think that they have to, be on guard for the person who helped to bring in their life. But you
Hmm.
say it's hard, but you work every day to be in acceptance of where they are and what they're needing, how they need the space around them.
And that takes some work. That doesn't come overnight.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost a daily battle. Let them alone. Respect
Mm-hmm.
them enough, love them enough, respect them enough to leave them alone and grant them their wish until they're ready.
Okay. And that takes a lot of humility. You got to
Oh,
take yourself all the way out the way.
hmm hmm
Okay. Is there anything else that you would share with one who might be in the middle of their addiction and
Okay.
struggling?
hmm So and when we're in this arena, everybody says that you have to hit a bottom to come up. I
Mm,
don't know what your bottom is, but one of the bottoms for me was, and it's a funny story, but it's not funny. Uh, I was about 97 pounds. I had two pieces of weave with a bobby pin and a baseball cap and a white beater shirt on, and hadn't had a bath in a while, no shoes on, and I wanted to go and get another one because I had $4. So I thought I was gonna go and get something else. And I saw a bike on a porch. I took the bike off the porch because I was tired and I wanted not to walk anymore. And I took the bike, not realizing I just jumped on the bike and I thought I was just finna really get it. The bike
mhm.
had no no pedal, no seat.
Where you thought you was going?
I don't know. But I tell
Mm,
that story because that's how my life had formed. I had no foundation whatsoever.
mm,
The pedals and the seat of a bike is the foundation. You can't get
mhm.
nowhere without those things. And I
No,
was
you
not going anywhere. And I thought to myself, that moment, it has to be better than this. Now,
mm,
did I change that day? No, I did not. But that moment kept evolving around in my mind. I have no foundation. I'm not getting anywhere. The good
mm.
news is that's the bad part of my addiction. Today, I'm riding in a car with matching wheels, matching
Okay.
rims, can put gas in it, and
Yeah.
not supposed to brag, but it's a nice little old Cadillac, I tell you.
Well, just a little bit. You can,
Yeah,
do a
God,
little bit.
God is tremendously blessed,
Yeah.
as long as I don't put a substance in my body. Yeah.
As long as you don't do
But
that,
for
you
those
good.
that are thinking that there is no way out, trust the process. There is a way out. If
Mhm.
you want to anytime reach out to someone who's been there and knows all of that, I'm available. I am available.
Very good. And speaking of, before we close out today, how can someone get in touch with you and get your firsthand experience and also your professional experience? How can they reach you if they need to get some help?
I have a website. It's www.tlccounselingservice.org. You can go on there and reach me. You can also reach me on Facebook, Tonja, TonjaCarr, or you can reach me by phone, 409-347-4083.
All right. Well, I hope y'all got that. If you are someone who's struggling in your addiction, or you are a family member or a friend and you just need some extra support, reach out to Miss Tanya. She's a great resource. And I really, really appreciate you once again. She gonna always keep it real. And anytime you see her, as much as she talked about how she wasn't looking up to par back then, this lady, fashion magazine ready every day. Okay. So if you need some help with your addiction, you need some fashion sense, call Miss Tanya. Y'all work that thing on out. Okay. Um, so I appreciate you listeners. I hope you continue to have a day that is embraced with your own love and with everything good that this life has to offer you. So until next time, thank you so much. Y'all take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.